Hey y'all, I'm worried. I'm worried about the state of our country. I just watched a video that said from our House of Representatives, from the Democrats, what I had suspected all along, that the reason why these illegal immigrants have been allowed to come into our country and inundate our cities was so that the Democrats could vote, could get the votes. They are going to allow them to vote. They are giving them licenses. They are giving them benefits such as housing, state benefits. They just did an 800,000 housing project in which certain cities were given housing money, basically, to further such things like Section 8 housing. But if you look at what cities are on that list, you'll find that they are cities that are cluttered. The streets are cluttered with immigrants, and they need them off the streets. Now, I have a problem with this. I live in a city, that is, quite frankly, in a crisis for housing. Elderly, veterans, people that already fought for our country's freedom. Vietnam War, that was no piece of cake, folks. Our country did some pretty shitty stuff to them. And our country pretty much experimented on them. Agent Orange, lots of stuff. But other wars too since then. I mean, our veterans, we've got veterans on the street, folks, because they can't afford housing. Our elderly, people with disabilities that can't afford on their disability, Social Security disability, the housing prices right now. Come on. Most people with disability or Social Security income don't get $2,000 a month. And rent is $2,000 or more. And they're giving this housing to people that have no history in our country, because they've brought them in droves, because they want to illegally allow them to vote for them. How crooked is that? Our country is getting ready to be hijacked, folks. I don't care if you think I'm fanatic or what, but y'all need to wake up. This shit's getting real. There's Hamas cells all over the place. What do you think's going to happen? when these cells decide to really break out. What do you think is going to happen when we go to war, if we go to war with China? And we have all these China cells, all the land that China owns. People are pretty loyal to what they're loyal to. Think about it, folks. We're not sitting very pretty. Our country is not united at all. People are going to join with their people, and we are going to lose our country if people don't start waking up and doing something about it. Our president needs to be impeached and out. Now, I can't say that I agree with everything that Trump did, okay? I'm not an avid Trump supporter. I'm not totally against him, but I'm not totally for him. But this president that we got in there right now, he needs to be impeached. I'm sorry. Bringing all of those illegal immigrants in droves, in the humongous amounts that he has allowed to come into our cities and our country for his selfish reasons, in such a large amount that it has broken down the financial structures of our cities. Our cities are broke. Trying to help them because the country, the state, the federal hasn't helped them. But to do that to our country and our people, when our own people are already hurting and needing for their selfish gain, their greed, because they're afraid that they won't win an election. They don't care about the people. How can you tell me that the Democrats care about the people when this is their plan? I can't honestly believe that Republicans care about the people. I can't honestly believe that the liberals care about the people. I don't believe that any of them care about the people anymore. They get in the government seats and they are set for life. That shouldn't happen. They should do their terms and be out. Nobody should be allowed to be in their seat for life. They get in the Senate, they should be allowed to be in there for 2-4 years and be done. Perhaps if they were in there for only 2 to 4 years and then they had to go back out into the public, perhaps they would remember why they were there. And they would be, oh, I have to go back and enter the world again. I don't get to live off the people's money. My wife and my family aren't set forever. So, I got to think about the working class folks. I got to think about these people that I'm going to go back and live in their world. We have got to wake up and take control of our country. It all needs to just be redone. We need people on the street with petitions, gathering signatures to put new laws in effect that run our country and get these old laws out of there. Change the way our country is run. Are you hearing me? Do I just sound like some old crazy lady on here? I hope not. Because I do care. I'm worried. I'm really worried. We're not at all set up for a blackout. China's got huge fields of solar energy. We don't have any of that. China has huge, ginormous, look it up. They have gigantic dams for energy. They've got one, and I mean, I'm just a woman that just lives in the world and learns things as I go along. I ain't some smart person that knows all the right words to say. But they've got one dam that is so huge that the scientists have said that it's changed the way our world turns. Think about that. That's a lot of water. That is huge. Now, that was built, if I remember right, that was built on the border of China and Nepal. Now, Nepal just had 2 major earthquakes that killed hundreds of people. I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm gonna, because I'm curious like that. I want to know. I have a very inquiring mind. If it's huge enough to throw off the way our world turns, I bet you anything it's shifted the tectonic plates, and that's why they had earthquake. But the point is, they got all this alternate energy. They're set up for if they have a blackout. Our government hasn't set jack up. We have a blackout, folks. It's everybody for themselves, and you better be protected. You better have your protection. Because Joe Schmo out here with his Uzi, Jack over here with his semi-automatic, Jill out there with her automatic, that nobody really should have. They're coming. They're coming to take whatever you got. People need to wake up to the truth. Just because it ain't on the news, don't mean it ain't happening. You got to dig and find the news yourself. Educate yourself. If you don't look things up and find out what's going on in the world around you, you're just going to be kept stupid. And you won't be voting like you know what's going on. You're just going to be a pocket liner. You definitely won't be an informed voter. You got to wake up. Smell the coffee. Do your research. Check out what's going on in the world, guys. Entertain some of these things that you think are just radical. Because there's some pretty damn radical shit going on. And it's about to change your life. Whether you like it or not. I used to be Democrat. But now I tell you. After Hillary Clinton got away with all that shit she got away with, killing our men in Benghazi, getting away with those emails that went out. Come on now. I've seen those emails, some of them, in stuff that I've researched. She shouldn't have gotten away with all that. But when she got away with all that stuff, that's when I knew. They owned the government. They owned the FBI. They owned the legal system. Justice, right and wrong, are purchases nowadays. They're not morals anymore, folks. They're purchases. Please, hear me. Wake up. Don't be so bullheaded that you're immediately just crossing off the list what somebody's telling you. Look it up before you find yourself at the bottom of the rung because you didn't listen. Don't cross your friend off as somebody that's just being a lunatic, because your friend may be actually trying to help you. Your friend may be actually trying to help you prepare for what's coming. Anyway. I'm serious, guys. Something's got to change. Seriously, our president needs to be impeached and drug out of there. I mean, he needs to be gone to do what he's done. He flew a bunch of illegal immigrants up to the border of Canada and New York, don't you? If you don't know that, I'm sorry, you got a lot of work to do on your dime. To allow people, and I'm not against immigrants. I'm not against immigration, but do it right. To allow this many people in droves to come in and take all of these benefits from American people, and especially people that have fought for our country, that are still living on the streets and are elderly. We got a homeless problem already without them. But to allow and bring and encourage these people in droves, in the numbers that they've allowed it so that they could get votes for a freaking election. And they don't even know, they don't even have history in our country. I'm sorry, guys. What planet are we on? Our forefathers would just be rolling over in their graves. I'm surprised they haven't even jumped out of their graves and said, oh, hell no. I'm sorry. I just had to say something. I can't believe this is our country. Can't believe this is happening in America. I can't believe this is happening in the United States of America. I mean, we're not united. I know that. I've known that for a while. But this is the land of freedom. And folks, we're about to lose our freedom. Have a nice night, y'all. Think about what I said. Especially you young ones need to get out on the street with petitions and get laws in the Senate that will change our laws. Get those old farts out of those Senate seats. Get people in there who are fighting for the country. Get rid of these damn parties. These damn parties are destroying our country. All they care about is their own pockets. And it's not about the parties, folks. It's about the freaking people. And the freaking people are going down the freaking toilet. If they ain't the top of the cream rich, you're going down the toilet. I know I am. And if you're there with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right.